Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you. Both of you are pleased to be joined by Flinn Lazier of Legacy Autosport as in competing in the Indy Pro 2000 series. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Okay, so Flinn, I've known you for a long time, and it's always been fun following your racing career. Just kind of talk about what this opportunity means to you to drive an Indy Pro.
It's definitely a good step forward. I think these past few years we have been doing a lot of different miscellaneous things. We had 2 good years in Atlantics, and during that time we were able to play around, able to have some time in the Indy Pro 2000 car as well as in the Indy Lights car. So it was cool to have a few years to get my feet wet in a lot of different things. I had my Trans Am debut last year, and that was really cool. It was like some completely different for me. Coming from open wheel cars, it was like night and day. With such an odd year last year, I was able to try a few different things, which was kind of good in the midst of all the bad that was going on last year. But it's really good to kind of be settled down this year, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do. I think we have a lot of potential. I think we just need to keep working, and the results will follow.
Okay, so you come from a pretty, racing family, of course. Your dad won the Indy 500. Of course, your dad is Buddy Lazier. Of course, your uncle is Jacques Lazier. So how active has your father been in helping your career?
I would say very active, passively and actively. He's helped me a lot in a lot of ways that I think people wouldn't necessarily understand. He's not really been the traditional driver coach you would think of, but he's definitely been a mentor and idol to me my whole life, in a different way. And he's helped me a lot through my career, no doubt. But there's also a lot of other people in my family I have to thank that I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now without them. So my dad certainly, but other members of my family as well.
So I know that, Indy Pro 2000 and stuff. How do you think it's been, driving those cars and really feeling like, what's it been like driving them?
It's a little different than what I'm used to. Coming from a rich background, primarily Atlantics, it's just different. It's a lot smaller of a tub. We have about the same amount of horsepower. So it's about the same horsepower wise, but grip wise it's significantly less to what we're used to in the Atlantic. And it's just a lot smaller tub. So the way that the car behaves is quite a bit different than a big car. So it's actually something that has taken me some time to adapt to, compared to an Indy Lights car or an Atlantic car. But it's almost been like kind of stepping back to the Formula Enterprises, which we won the championship with in 2018. We raced those for 2 years. So I kind of have to take myself back and take a step back in my driving. And I have to realize that I have to drive these cars a little more like an Enterprise, something that's a smaller tube frame, almost like a Formula Ford. So that's quite a bit different. It's quite a bit different how you set it up as well. I'd say it's really competitive racing. I've told a few people this, but I believe it's out of all the feeder series ranks this year around the world. I think it ranks in the first or second most competitive in the world, out of all the feeder series. So I think that's great. And I think it's fun. It's Barber and St. Pete were a blast, especially St. Pete. It was just, it's cool to be with IndyCar. It's cool to be able to have be on the street courses and be able to follow them as they go around. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Definitely.
Yeah, I know it's obviously it's different. The IndyCar series is much different from when your dad was in the series as well. Of course, there was. I don't want to get into all the obviously turmoil and stuff with everything going on with with IndyCar at the time. If you want to learn more about that, go watch NASCAR Man's documentary on the Indy split. So kind of going into this thing that, of course, I know you're 22 years old. I know that, you can have a decent career, even though that, a lot of the drivers that are in the series are maybe 18, 19, even younger than that, you feel like you're at a disadvantage because, you are you are older?
No, definitely not. I think people like Colton and Pato have kind of set those standards, but no, definitely not. That's not what gets you to IndyCar. You do see a lot more younger people these days, but if you look at the general age and population of IndyCar, it's not young. There are a few people that are young, and that's becoming more prominent. But I mean, you could look at Oliver Askew. I mean, he was, I believe we were the same age when he was in Indy Pro 2000. And I mean, he got a good shot at McLaren, but even now, he was a young guy, I'd say very talented. He's out of a ride. I could tell you all about what the exact reasons of that are, and why he's not in it, or why there aren't other people in it, and why there are people in it. But I don't think age has anything to do with it. I think you could be 30 in my position right now, and if you're winning races and winning a championship, you would get a scholarship, and you might even get a ride to IndyCar. But no, I don't think. I think there's too much emphasis on age these days. People miss the point.
Yeah. So I know that you got a few weeks off. I know you're also trying to get your. You're also in college. You're in your last semester at Denver. Do you ever think that? I know getting a degree is a big deal to you. What does it mean to you? I know as the semester closes out, what does it mean to you to know that you're almost close to getting a degree?
It's really nice to almost be done with school. I'm really honestly just over it. I think with COVID and everything, it's made things quite a bit different than what the college experience should be. It's just become very uninteractive and very, there's been a severe loss of kind of that experience you get being face to face with everyone. And I think the universities are doing their best to still give us an experience that's similar, but I just think it's too different. So I'm honestly very excited to be done. For the most part, I've already finished all my major classes. So my major is more or less done. My degree is more or less done. It's more just getting the general ed class out of the way, but it'll be nice to be 100% focused on racing all the time. I'm excited for it.
What is your major again?
I'm majoring in marketing and minoring in management.
Awesome. Of course, a marketing degree could go absolutely anywhere. Race teams and stuff in there. And it's a tough business to go out and get sponsorship and all that. Do you feel like you have experience now that you can go and use the skills that you learned in college to go out and get things like that?
Yeah, no doubt. I think I definitely do, more so than a lot of people. I was having the same conversation with someone else yesterday, but having a college education definitely helps, and I'd say it's a bit of an advantage over some of the people in the racing world that don't have that opportunity. But I don't think it's in the classes. I think it's in the people you meet, the friends you make. I think the people skills you get from having to manage friendships and manage your professors and build relationships with your professors. I think that's what does it. But yeah, no, I definitely think it does. It will help me out a lot and has helped me out a lot, but maybe not in the traditional ways that you would think.
How excited are you for Indy in a few weeks?
I'm really excited. I'm hoping I can be there. It'd be really nice to be at the show. I know missing it last year just hurt. Especially the last few years, it's been so much fun. I mean, 17, we were there racing. I was on the box. I had just turned 18 that year, so it was the first time I was able to be in the pits for the 500, and it was so cool being a part of just being able to be that close to the program. Obviously, we didn't have the best program that year for my dad, but it was super cool, and I wish we could have been there in 18. But after that, I think there was more focus on my program and with everything that happened. But I'm super excited. It sounds like 165,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I think probably like 2/3 of the usual. About 2/3 of what they usually see. If that's right.
I think it's 135,000 if I'm not mistaken, but right.
135,000 less. Yeah. Oh, total. Yeah. No, I think it'll be really good. You know, I think unfortunately, I think a lot of the blame was put on Roger last year that, you know, about the fans, but really just wasn't up to Roger. And even this year, it's not really 100% up to Roger. Roger really wants what's best for the league. He wants what's best for the fans. He always has wanted what's best for the fans, and he wants people to be there, but he also doesn't want to start. Um, he doesn't want to start an outbreak of COVID in Indianapolis, or create something, a PR situation that is going to be really difficult for him in the Speedway and IndyCar to get out of. So he doesn't want to do that, but he has the fans' interest in mind, and he wants what's best for the fans. So I think he'll put on a good show. I think the racing will be pretty good. I don't think we'll see anything wickedly different than last year in terms of racing and what it looks like. I think they made a few aero adjustments for everyone, but and I think there'll be some benefit to that. I think the racing might be a little better, but I think everyone should expect a good show. I think everyone, I'd say this year more than every year, I think everyone's really excited to be back in Indiana and back during the month of May.
Do you think your dad would ever make another run at Indy again?
I think he has one more in him. Yeah, I think he could if he wanted to. Right now, I think he's really focused on our family business, Tivoli Lodge up in Vale. That's something that he's taken full pride of and has really, gone into 100%. And racing for his sake has been less of his attention. But if he really wanted to, I know he's got one more in him. We've always talked about how cool it'd be if my first was his last run at the Speedway. So I would really like if we could do that. I think it'd be really cool. He does, out of the living 500 winners and out of the living people that could still race at the Speedway, I believe that he has, if it's not the most, it's the second or third most amount of time at the Speedway, because during his time they had unlimited testing. It was during the tire war, so they had a lot of tire testing at the Speedway. So he has by far the most miles at the track. He could win again if he had the right car, no doubt. Just a matter of him being in shape and being ready to go, and having the drive to do it again. And whether or not he gets that again, I'm not sure, but I think he could do it if he wanted to. Yes.
All right. Well, Flynn, thank you so much for coming on, and you've always been a good friend of mine over the years, and really, I'm really excited to see you in the Indy Pro 2000. And good luck in a few weeks at the Indy Road Course.
Thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, it was great talking to you.